Kerry Johnson from HQH Fitness, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the BOSU Pro Balance Trainer. Just to go over some of the features and the type of exercises that you can do on the BOSU. You may not know, but BOSU stands for both sides up, so you can use the BOSU from both sides. It's a great tool for cardiovascular training, muscular strength and endurance. Also works on your coordination, balance, flexibility, core, glutes. It's a real functional, fun workout that you can use with your clients or for yourself in a group setting, in team training, or just one-on-one in private and semi-private personal training. Right, so what I'm going to show you is the range of exercises that we can do on the BOSU using both sides, and work through the different parts of the body and to show the versatility of this cool little piece of equipment. Right, we're going to run through to start with some warm-up exercises, just to give you some ideas of how to warm your clients up. Just first of all, safety things. You can use the BOSU with bare feet. Also, you can wear trainers. You just got to make sure that the bottom of the trainers in the soles, there's no sharp bits of stone, gravel or dirt, because it will damage the rubber of the BOSU. Basic things, first of all, is getting people comfortable with the idea of standing on the BOSU and moving on and off, which can be quite unnerving for people. And then you can bring them up onto the BOSU and just standing tall, finding the path of least resistance, just focusing on their core, thinking about glute activation, and nice and tall up through the top of the head. Okay, and there you can get them doing things like just rocking through the ankles, adding some shoulder rolls, nice and steady, turning the head from side to side. It just challenges the balance ever so slightly, and they're really having to think about switching on through the core to stabilise. If they're really brave, get them to close their eyes, and again that's another balance challenge all in itself. Okay, I'll just get your clients walking just on and off, getting used to stepping up nice and light on the feet, coming up to the top of the head. Talk about switching on through the core, shoulder positioning, postural technique. Trying to look out on the horizon as they're going. Bringing in arms. So you're focusing on finding that centre. Now obviously depending on the coordination of your client is going to determine how much they can actually do. But if you liken it to a step workout, you can change it to curls, just to warm up through the hamstrings. You can add in repeaters, so they're challenging that balance. And again, you can use music, but you don't have to. Right, now you've got your client warmed up and used to using the BOSU and finding their centre of balance. We're going to move into, you can move into other body parts. I'm going to start with legs, but you don't have to, you can start with whichever focus you're working with for your client. Okay, so coming into legs, I'm just going to start on, one foot on and one foot off. Nice wide stance. We're going to start with some wide squats. Again, nice, not too challenging on the balance. Just warming up through the hips and the knees, trying to really recruit the glutes, locking into the core, and again working on that horizon in front of you. You can add more dynamic moves to it by stepping over. And again, depending on your client, you may need to take them quite slowly through, set them up, and go through. Take that up another level. And it comes back to my step aerobic days. Coming through for your knees. So again, you can change it up from your strength training into your aerobic training real quick. Okay, let's come through and have a look at lunges. So I'm still working with one foot on and one foot off the BOSU at the moment. One foot in the centre, step back, nice strong lunge position, feet hip distance apart. Working through that back toe and squeezing the glutes, so you're activating through. Dropping straight up and down, making sure you're on the horizon, nice and steady. And again, it's up to you again how many repetitions you're going to do of these on that position. Punching through nice and steady. And again, you can make this more challenging. You can add medicine balls, dumbbells, weight bar. And again, you're really coaching them through that positioning. Through the core, watching knees and foot placement, head positioning. Good. And then you repeat that on the other side as well. So this is the one you may have seen in videos on YouTube. Okay. Feet set, hip distance apart. Again, eyes on the horizon, sinking through. More dynamic, bringing in the cardiovascular training. Really better with shoes on for these type of exercises. This is also a great tool for your beginner clients because you can use the BOSU to assist movement. So we're just going to have a look at a reverse lunge so you can see how it can help your client really get that technique and understand the lunge movement. Okay. So again, feet hip distance apart, back foot on the middle of the BOSU, and just make sure they're lined up. So it's just assisting that movement. Main thing to remember is you're watching that knee going up and over that ankle and really activate that glute, squeezing into the glute, looking out on the horizon and focus on their posture, their technique, shoulder positioning. And again, you can add arm lines, you can add rotation just to challenge the core. And add a dip and reach through, reaching up. Yeah. Again, this is something you could do with a medicine ball or just a light Pilates ball, just to work on that function movement. So we're starting to come into slightly more advanced exercise here. And again, this can be done the other way with the foot on the BOSU as well. Right, now some dynamic moves using the BOSU just to get that heart rate up and to challenge that functional movement. Okay, so just going to start jumping on and off. So you're focusing on the landing. Now you can do it coming back to the same place, or you can do it coming all the way around. Depends on how much space you guys have got. And twist here, coming on and off. And you can aim 10 to 15 each leg, depending on your client. Change legs. So you're working through. So you're challenging, using the core, bounding off that BOSU. Obviously, the bigger the movement you can get, the better it's going to be. Okay. Then to break it up in between exercises, I like to add in some little taps. Keeps the heart rate up. It just means they get a little bit of muscle recovery, but they're still working out and getting that intensity. Right, we're now going to look at training the legs with the BOSU up the other way. So real easy, you just flip it over, nice and steady. Again. So you've got a much more unstable surface there to work from. Okay, I'm going to start with standing on it. Okay. Now the hardest bit of this is where if you've got a client, you can assist them. You find that balance, and they will find that it's really hard to stay still. Legs going to be shaking. Okay. So here's where you just focus on core, activating the glutes. I find that really does help just to stabilize through the legs. And you'll find you'll be able to get that sense of calm, get them to focus on their breathing. And again, they're finding that path of least resistance. So it gives you that time. And again, you can practice arm movements, just challenging the range of motion, challenging their balance. Arm circles are always good. Both ways. One way is always a little bit trickier. And again, you can work through the ankles, making the weight, shifting the weight backwards and forwards, side to side, around the circle. Okay. Then you can go into more traditional leg work. Let's go into a squat exercise. So again, focusing on that technique, bending through. Woo. Now remember, if you want your client to do it, you've got to try it yourself. So give it a go, so you can really understand what sticking points your clients are going to come across. What's going to be the challenging points for them. Okay. And then you'd assist your client getting on. Always make sure you're doing it by yourself or someone's doing it by themselves. Bending the knees, come off nice and steady and so.